guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a pretty hot sunny day today, and I'm out here on this pretty good off-roading trail, I can say. I'm with 3 of my friends. There is a very beautiful dam beside that corner, but I'm not standing there because I couldn't shoot there. There was a lot of public, and in fact you can see that some people are still coming in. So I'm just standing here in this beautiful place with my very beautiful bike with all of its ornaments, which we also call as accessories. But yeah, it's looking as beautiful as it can be. I was just waiting for this front fender, and it just arrived yesterday. A couple of important things before we start with the accessory setup. So this video will not just cover what accessories do I have on the bike, but it will also cover what else do we have in the market currently. And I'll just try to put a small comparison alongside. And the second thing is, along with showing you the goods and bads about these accessories just for comparison, throughout the video I'll be showing you some clips and leave some videos in the iCard for you to check out later. Now, third and the most important thing, this video is not sponsored by any of the brands to speak for or against anyone. It just contains all the knowledge that I could gather about all the accessories that I have on the bike and some personal opinions as well. And fourth and the most obvious is that the contacts to own one of these parts will be down in the description. So you can directly reach out and have one for yourself. Without further ado, let's start with the video. Doggo. Okay, so let's start with the crown sitting on the head of the bike. This is an awesome windshield which is made by Adventure Conquest here in Bangalore. A little bit about this windshield. It's about 16 inches tall and adjustable by a slight amount here by about 1 inch, which is not really considerable, but yeah, 16 inches I think is tall enough for me. I am 5'8", and if you are above 6 feet or 6 feet 2, then you might have some wind blast on the top of your helmet, but I have not faced anything yet. At around speeds of 120, you won't have any wind blast at all. And now about the vibrations, I won't say it's a lot. It's very negligible. There are certain scenarios only in which you will have a slight amount of vibration in this. It's made pretty stable, and the vibrations are only noticeable when you are at higher gears and lower speeds. So nothing too unbearable, nothing too scary that I have seen until now. And I have done a lot of off-roading, like trails like these and even better trails than these, and maintaining good speeds on these kind of trails. And to be honest, anything that is bigger than the stock will have slight amount of vibrations, because even at higher speeds or bad roads, even the stock wind visor vibrates. This is doing a pretty nice job, and why I think this is doing a pretty nice job is if you compare this with the GV windshield. Hopefully I'll pull out in the video on the right side. So if you notice, there are two common things with the GV one and this one, which is a bottom heavy wider clamp and a bottom heavy windshield as well. Now this sheet is made with acrylic and the clamp is made with galvanized iron. So this clamp is slightly heavy. If it was made with aluminum or fiber of any kind, then it would have been much lighter and the vibrations would have really been negligible. But there are still some because of this slightly heavier clamp. But just to give you an idea about the weight as well, the stock windshield, and when I say windshield, it will include the clamp and this windshield part. So the stock one weighs around 400 grams, and this weighs around 1.1 kgs altogether, out of which clamp weighs around 700 grams and this weighs around 400. And I decided to upgrade to this windshield from the earlier one I had from Hyperrider, because the two things that I talked about, which is the wider clamp and the bottom heavy design, so it's really top light. So both of these things were not in the Hyperrider windshield. It had a huge top pointing clamp and a very huge windshield which didn't have proper kind of weight distribution to it, and it used to vibrate in pretty much all kind of scenarios. If you are at higher speeds, then it will vibrate on highways, and if you are anywhere apart from highways, then it will anyway vibrate. So I decided to upgrade to this, and I'm really happy with the product. And just giving a slight idea about the weight of the Hyperrider windshield compared to this. So the Hyperrider windshield, the clamp of the Hyperrider windshield weighed around 1 kg, and this windshield portion, which was made with polycarbonate, weighed around 700 grams. So all put together it was around 1.7 kgs. So this one is pretty light as compared to that. So yeah, that was my decision to upgrade, and here is the new one. I'm really happy with the product, and I'm not sure if international shipping is available for this product. You can definitely get in touch with Keshav from Adventure Conquest to get one for yourself. Now while we are at Adventure Conquest, let me discuss about the headlight guard as well. So this is the headlight guard we have from Adventure Conquest. Just talking about the mounting points, we have two here, we have one in the bottom, and there are two screws at the bottom holding this clamp together, which is holding the whole windshield in place. So there is a slight amount of tension here that is created between these 2 points, and that's why it's really rugged. I mean, as much as you want to push it, punch it, I mean, That's all I can do with a headlight guard, but it doesn't move. There is a slight amount of flex towards the side, nothing really crazy. And if you can see from the sides, there is a slight amount of gap between the headlight and this, because of which we have some additional refraction of the headlight, and the throw becomes better. Of course, the throw becomes yellow in color, so visibility is much better. Now, talking about what we have available in the market, the common kind of headlight guard that we have available in the market are the grill ones, the grill design ones. There are several kinds of design in that grill mod. The mounting points remain the same for that as well, but I didn't go for that because they have huge gaps in those grills and stones can still go through that and break the glass. So safety not 100% in that, and plus, since it was made with metal, it restricts a little amount of light from the headlight as well. Both of the things that were not possible with the grill headlight guard are possible with this one. I'm really very happy, and I wanted to add a couple of more veries here in the sentence, but yeah, this is a very nice product, very affordable one too, again by Adventure Conquest, made in Bangalore. And well, this whole setup makes the bike look pretty dope as well. It's a pretty good setup. Combining both together, it kind of creates a layer of protection for everything that we have on this side. Now, the third item that I have from Adventure Conquest is TFT protector. Now, this is very subjective. Some people may need it, some people may not. But just in case, for the people who need it, there's a huge frame on top of the LCD and it clamps at the TFT display that we have here. For additional protection, we have some rubber bands here as well, if you can see. So that is just additional thing, but it really clamps well and it stays in place. Now, I don't care about any amount of stones or rain or anything falling on the TFT display. Hopefully there will be no condensation. I have not got a chance to test that. If you want more idea about these three products, then do check out Adventure Conquest's YouTube channel as well. They have dropped a couple of videos with more details on this, if I have missed anything. Anywho, moving on, I have this front fender, and this front fender is from another bike actually. It's called Hero X-Pulse. It's an Indian off-roader bike, and we have a doggo there. So this is from a bike called Hero X-Pulse, which is an Indian off-roader, and for any of the viewers who doesn't have idea about it, it's a 200cc single cylinder motor which can do crazy amount of off-roads, and I'll just leave a picture in the video for your reference. I just modified it a little to fit on my bike, and you can see that it's fitting really nicely. I mean, I can again slap it, punch it, do all kinds of stunts with it, but it'll not really move. Now, the modification that I had to make was cut this fender slightly from the back, and you can see this metal clamp here. So this metal clamp is holding the fender in place, and there is no extra bolt that I have fitted. It's just the stock bolt, and from both the sides the fender fits pretty properly. It's very snug, and it doesn't eat up your room for your front suspension as well. So a pretty good deal, and it looks really nice. Now, along with fitting a separate front fender, since I have already a front fender, I've just cut the front mudguard. This was the stock mudguard from KTM. So I've cut this out from the front because I don't need it anymore. And I've unscrewed 3 bolts here, just giving a sort of a long portion, a long plastic piece to the front mudguard. But the risk of having that piece is, if your suspension is in full work, then that piece can get stuck in your engine guard. As you can see, no risk anymore anywhere for me. And since we are looking at the front fender, let me cover the bash plate, which is also called skid plate. Now, this is made by Fantasia. It pretty much covers all of the engine from bottom, that you can see. So it's covering the whole bottom portion, it's covering the engine as well. Protection is really good, and the first time when I lifted this with my hands, I felt like I'm really strong, but then I realized that it's made with aluminum and it's super light in weight. The mounting points remain pretty much the same as we have in the stock. So there is that clamp you see. So that is kind of a holder for this to be in place. There are 2 bolts from the bottom, there are 2 bolts from the front. Pretty nice deal with this bash plates if you really bash your bike around on off-roads. And the next part that I have from Fantasia are these very beautiful crash guards. Benefit of having this crash guard are twofolds. One, it gives engine protection, which not many of the crash guards are giving in the market. Second, it's giving a full body protection as well. Goes from in front of the radiator, as I showed you in my last video, and all around the bike. But this crash guard is on a slightly heavier side. It weighs around 6.5 kgs, and as compared to the 3.5 kgs of the stock one, it's almost double the weight. But the good thing is that it provides an all-round protection to the bike on off-roads, and the engine protection, which is very important. So we have a slider here, Half of the impact is taken by the slider on a fall, and the rest of the impact is taken by the rods, which are not directly connected anywhere to the chassis, which I showed you in the last video as well. So no impact would be really transferred to the bike, plus an all-round protection. Now if you remember the crash guards that I had from Hyperrider, they had two sliders popping out of these places. There was a small piece of metal coming out here where you could put the auxiliary lights and stuff like that. But the only risk that I faced is when I started off-roading, because those sliders were really popping out right from in front, and I was worried of those sliders getting stuck in some kind of a tree or a bush, or even in case of a fall. I was worried that if those sliders fall on my leg, then my riding career is over just when I started. And that's why I made this upgrade. Now even with the heavier weight of 6.5 kgs, you see how well balanced these are. And this is not just by design, this is by weight as well. You don't really feel that heavier weight on the bike while riding. So it didn't impact me at all at any point. Now the only downside of having these crash guards is this area, this flappy area we have on the side. If you're taller than 6'2", I would say, and you sort of sit on the front portion of the bike like you're rallying or off-roading, then your knee may hit this area. And one of the guys that I know actually had faced this issue, and he brought it to picture, so that's why I'm sharing with you guys. Another question that I got when I installed these and uploaded the photos on Instagram is if the gear pedals or the brake pedals are hitting the crash guards. So just let me show you. It's actually pretty far off. It's not even close. Even if you change it, even if you stay at your normal position, it's actually not that close. My leg hasn't really hit this part of the crash guard at all, even when I'm wearing my riding boots. So not a problem that I faced. I really like this crash guard because adding purpose and adding beauty is always important, as I always say. Anywho, so moving on to the next part. Again, just trying to cover everything that I have from Fantasia. So this is another part from Fantasia. This is the top rack. In my experience, this has been really sturdy, and I like this kind of top rack because it sits close to the bike. So even if you are riding, even if you have a box behind and you're riding at high speeds, you don't really feel all that disbalance created by the extra weight that we have on the rear. So it's sitting close to the bike and sitting pretty snug. Loving it. One of the products from Fantasia. And moving on to these Adventure saddle stays from CarbonRacing. So these are made with fiber, as I've already said in my previous videos, and these clamps are made with metal. The connection points are, you can see, 1, 2 and 3 on the top. You can use all these holes to tie down your bungee cords for your tail bag and stuff like that. But anywho, I was curious to know why this was made with fiber while the clamps were metal. So the common design that has been going on with the saddle stays for this bike is rather using this bolt to attach it to the bottom. Everyone is using this point to create a rod here and attach to the foot peg. So I reached out to CarbonRacing to ask why they have used this point, and as beautifully as it is designed, it is very purposeful as well, and a lot of research has been done. Let me explain to you why this has been built this way with fiber and metal partly. So this point that we have below here, it actually connects to the subframe of the chassis of the bike, which kind of makes it risky to put a saddle stay on that point. But very intelligently, CarbonRacing, rather than putting a rod here and attaching it to the foot peg, what they did was they kept this point but made this piece with fiber. It's a pretty rugged fiber piece. There will be no issues with putting CarbonRacing boxes on it, or tying bags on it. But in case of a fall, since these are made with fiber, rather than hampering your bike, these will break off, and this doesn't really cost all that much. So better than hampering your bike, damage the saddle stay was the idea, and the research that they had put behind these saddle stays, which sounds very logical to me because these kind of sit with the bike and they look really nice. Aesthetics, usefulness, everything is there on these saddle stays. That's why I bought these, and since CarbonRacing has also diminished the risk of damaging the subframe chassis, why not? And removing my focus from the accessories, these are the guys I was riding with. Fazil, Abhiram, you have seen both of them before. And this is Arun, newly made friend on his Himalayan, enjoying the roads. And now we'll be getting back to the accessories, so you guys may off.
No, it's okay. You want to carry on? Yeah, I'm carrying on. Okay, cool.
Oh, see you, man.
That's Himalayan of Chhattisgarh.
And the next part on the list are these side stand extenders. Nothing really crazy here. These are made by Asura Garage. I didn't know that they make these, but they do. So I picked them up and doing the job pretty nicely as they are supposed to. Nothing really crazy going on around there. Okay, and moving on to the last and the most important update, which I can't really show because it's inside the bike. It's the BMC air filter and the NGK Iridium spark plug. So I upgraded to both of them just to improve the low end a little bit. People are changing sprockets and doing all kinds of things with the bike, but I didn't really want to change any of the stock parts that I have gotten. If you see, I still have the mag wheels as well. So that's the reason why I changed the air filter and the spark plug. There is a slight amount of improvement in the low end, and it's nothing major. It's just that you know, the stock bike stutters a little before reaching 3000 to 4000 RPM. So that stutteriness has gone away. It's smooth right the second you start the bike. Now those are all the upgrades that I have made to the bike to make it perform a little better, you know, increase the safety and the comfort of having long tours. A lot of you guys have also asked me about this bag that I have. It's not actually a tail bag. It's a tail bag come tank bag come a backpack. So it's pretty much all kinds of bags that we can get. It's from a company called Rambler and I got it from Gear and Ride. It's kind of a DIY setup that I have done here. So I have some buckles that I have set up around all over the bag, which can be directly tied down and strapped on to the back. These buckles are running from underneath. It's a pretty snug bag. I have gone on severe kind of off-roads as well, but this never you know, gave me any kind of issue, and I like it pretty much. I also installed the top rack for the shard box. I have not really taken that out a lot since I like to go crazy on the off-roads. I have not really taken out the box ever. It was just one ride in which I was showing you the Hyperrider accessories. So that's pretty much all that I have on the bike, and this is the final product. To my eyes, it looks as stunning as it can be and it performs better than before. Now you guys tell me how this looks to you and how do you feel are the upgrades on this bike. I'm just in love with it, but if you guys have any suggestions, then I would be happy to take a look out in the market again. So let me know how you guys think of this setup, and this will be pretty much it for today's vlog, guys. So I'll just be ending today's vlog right here with the bike in the frame. I kind of love it. So I hope you guys found all this information useful, and I hope I could help you enough to make an informed decision. But yeah, this is pretty much it for today, guys. We'll see you the next time. Ciao, folks.